Hi, everyone. I'm Regina, and you are you. How is everybody today? Oh, gosh. Here we are, our first show, and I just fit to be tied my stars. I thought everything would be easy. I've come to realize that what I need is one of those streaming platforms like Ecamm that Marty had. Of course, that's for Mac, and I don't have Mac. I've got PC, and so I've got to find a streaming platform. But this will work for the time being. We're not going to be as high tech, I don't think. I'm just very limited in how much technology I want to bring into my life. So anyway, let's get the business part out of the way. I'm Regina. I'm a transgender woman. We're out here to kind of, oh gosh, make me human. I'm a human being, and I think we all are. And so, that's what this channel is for, is to create humanity, or to just let everybody know that we're human. I like to discuss different things. I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of my story. It is what it is, and I'm sure we'll go over part of it. I hope y'all I hope y'all subscribe. I like to bring things on kind of through a spiritual nature. I've been in recovery a long time, and so that's really big in my life. I mean, I have a life because of it, and so that's we'll get brought into the picture in one way or the other. So, who all's here? Jessica Newhouse and Sarah. Hi, Sarah. And Casey's here. So, Francesca was here a little while ago. I think she had to leave. Jessica Newhouse, is that you? Is that you, Jess? Oh, anyway, so it's going to be fun. I kind of want to talk about, somebody brought up anxiety here a couple of weeks ago in the other show. And so I kind of like broke that down into fear and courage. And so I want to talk about some of that a little bit. And then the other thing that I really want to talk about today is unity and how divided everything is. I don't want to talk about politics. What I want to talk about is our communities and how divided they've become because of everything that goes on in that bigger world. But the world that really affects us is this little one, the microcosm that's around us. And so, we'll get into that. I you know how I am. I'm going to drift all over, and because that's just the way I am. I'm kind of like the squirrel, or the squirrel, or no squirrel, and that's just the way. That's life with Regina, and so let's hope that we can pull this off. It's a big step. All of a sudden, I've always had somebody else to depend on, and I was just kind of the co-host, and Marty had to take care of all the stuff. Well, come to find out, there's a whole heck of a lot of work to that. And I as we get into this, more will be revealed. And so I was trying to figure out how to do a moderator. I thought it'd be just, like click on somebody's name and bingo, I'd be able to make them a moderator. Well, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. And I've no idea, it's a little bit late to figure out how to make it work, and I started to do this at 9 o'clock this morning, start to come in here and start working and trying to manipulate and check out other streaming platforms. And so I finally sat down at the computer about 11 and that's no time to do anything. And then I decided, well, I need to eat something. And oh gosh. And so I had been dressed and then I had to undress and oh geez, it's just, it is different to be me. Oh God, like I'm something special. Not. I think it's the same for any of us. We get started doing stuff and something comes up, and bingo, off we go. And so we can like use that to vault into the whole fear and anxiety thing, because things come up in our lives and oh gosh, sometimes they throw a curve at us, and we're supposed to be in the here now, and it's not easy when you got a brain that works like mine, and I think most everybody does, is when something comes up, you start spinning on it. And to what extent is debatable as to how much you're gonna, to how much you're gonna spend, and so it can create anxiety, and so how do we live with anxiety? How do we live with anxiety? Hi, Jessica Dean. Oh, so we put one foot in front of the other one and keep moving on. That's what I've learned. I like to find, that friend that I can talk to. I have friends that I can talk to, and so if it's grating enough and really driving me crazy, sometimes I don't have that deal. I remember a few years ago, I had been in this play, or I was in this play. We were doing Arsenic and Old Lace, and I had the part of Aunt Abby, which is a huge part. It was like, my finest moment on stage, and I have been kind of lax and learning my lines, and this theater where I was working, they were really sticklers for doing it by the book, and I was not getting along with my director, and oh my gosh, and here was like dress rehearsal night, and I'm still at home getting ready to go, and I start having this freaking panic attack, and oh my stars, I had never had a panic attack before that was as severe as that one. I mean, I couldn't get my breath. Geez, nothing was going right. I thought, God, this is not going to look good on my acting resume to not be able to even show up. I couldn't go on stage the way I was. And I'm like doing deep breathing exercises, because that's the only thing I know how to make my body relax. I can think about alcohol, I can think about marijuana, I can think about anything to make me relax. But the thing that really works for me is deep breathing. And so I just started doing some deep breathing exercises. And eventually I was able to go, and I knocked it out of the park, or at least I thought I knocked it out of the park. And, it went really well. And so, there are methods that we can use to get through the anxiety, you know, and so, you know, so that's my two methods, is to talk about it and deep breathing. And so, you know, gosh, the other day I was a little anxious about something and went for a walk. You know, I have to walk my dog every day. And so, you know, God, I didn't think I was even going to be able to get out there and do that because I was so short of breath. I was just freaking. And you know, we started walking that same old path that we always go. And by the, you know, mile and a half later, oh, I thought, you know, I'm okay. I'm okay. And so there are ways of getting through this, you know, exercise, deep breathing, talking, you know, whatever it is, you know, the thing that the programs of recovery teaches is to help somebody. And I know for a fact that that works as well too, you know. So there's all kinds of methods out there, but the main thing is to get out of ourselves, you know. My friend Jess, she's saying yoga. Absolutely. Absolutely. Although at my advanced age, no, I'm not going to go down that path. Oh my gosh. A couple of weeks ago, I got a new coffee. It's this Costa Rican coffee, Copa de Esperanza. And oh my stars, I put kind of like a full city roast on it, full city plus probably. And it is so, so good. I mean, every time I want to just like be on camera and savor a cup of coffee, this is the one I want. And I think, oh my gosh, I've only like roasted 3 or 4 loads of it. Good stuff. Good stuff, you know, because I am a proprietor at Raised Rose Coffees, you know, an online coffee place, and no longer a coffee shop, but we still do online and wholesale locally here. So, you know, shoot me a line and you know, www.raisroast.com, REYSROAST.com. Just a quick note. You know, Saturday I got on here, was playing around and never even mentioned coffee, you know. And that's one of the things I was looking for, is how to bring in my poster or something, you know. Oh, mercy. I hope to get a little more technologically savvy, but I'm not sure it's going, you know, I don't know when it's going to happen. So who all's here? Showgirl and Jess and what? Maybe it's the coffee. What do you mean? What do you mean? Because I'm all over the place? I'm talking so fast? Oh boy. So anyway, back to fear and anxiety, you know, and so one of the things that I've been reading is this book, and it's called The 7 Deadly Fears. And it's really, I don't think much of the writing in the book, but there's some good things in it. And, you know, the 7 deadly fears are fear of death, fear of abandonment, fear of being a burden, fear of the unknown, fear of conflict, fear of intimacy, and fear of change. And oh my gosh, there was a little piece in the fear of change that I thought was kind of interesting, but it's so poorly written. I mean, it's like 2 people having a conversation, and so it's kind of, you know, not really worthy to read to you guys. And so, you know, but the gist of what this fellow's saying about the fear of change is just make a decision to do more that, to make a step in that change. They were talking about hating a job, and the guy wanted to be a writer, and so the one guy says, well, then write, you know. Well, I can't, I'm not a good writer. Well, how are you going to write if you're not? How are you going to learn to be a better writer? And so that's kind of like, I started my YouTube channel in January or February. I think I put a couple of videos up, and then I've not done much with my own channel, and so I get to, why, it's because I've got all these fears of not being able to meet some criteria in my own mind, and some negative thing, and so how do I ever get past that if I don't make the change and start doing something? So here I am, and oh mercy, that's a good thing, I guess. What do you got going on in the side chat? Sarah, where are you from? I can't remember. Your English is bad. So what language is your first language? I see where Sarah wrote here, I drink coffee. If you drink coffee for sleeping, you don't sleep. When I was still working my regular job, this has been what, 10 years ago now, I would come home and I would meet with my partner, and we would always have a cup of coffee at 4:00 in the afternoon. And before our conversation was, we'd just be sitting there conversing a little bit. And then I would like take a 5-minute nap as soon as my cup of coffee was finished. And then I would, Belgium. Oh, and French. Okay, cool. And that's where you live now? Well, that's crazy. Wonderful. Wonderful. I didn't realize you were that far away. So here we are, going out around the world, Europe, and hopefully Eva can get here, and then we'd be in New Zealand, and oh gosh, what a wonderful world we live in. This is quite a community, and that is, we go out there, and that's the beauty of everything. We're all humans. We're all over the world. I've talked probably many times about that. One of my hugest spiritual experiences was just sitting and in a place in Belize, I think it was. I don't think it was. I know it was. And I'm on this porch in the evening, it's post dinner, and we're sitting there, and there's about 5-6 people from different places in the world. And it was just magical to me, that I could be sitting there conversing with these people, and we're all laughing, all having a good time, because we're all human beings and sharing our stories. And so, it is so cool to be able to share with people around the world, because we can start looking at the commonality of our experiences as opposed to the differences the way the powers that be, the politicians and whatnot, want us to view everybody as an outsider or whatever, and it's just not true. We're all human, and that's really, the key to me is just understanding the fact that we're good, that, oh mercy, I I love people. I love people. When we had the coffee shop, and God, I miss my coffee shop. People would come in, and there'd be people from on bicycles, because it was sitting right on a highway, a 2-lane highway that goes from one end of the country to the other. And or I don't know if it goes all the way, but it's not anything like a major thoroughfare, 2-lane highway in this part of the world. And there would be sometimes people riding their bicycles from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine, and they would be of European, where they're from, and they would come in, and I would always get to talking with these people. It was so nice, and that was a bad thing about having a business that grew, is because after a while I was too busy to sit and have those conversations, and oh golly, it was dear to my heart, those conversations with people, or even from a different part of this country, how unique each individual is. We laugh sometimes about terminal uniqueness, where we think we're so special to the point it's going to kill us, but the reality is everybody's got their own story. Each life, each transition, each little thing is different than somebody else's. My transition was a lot different than like anybody that transitioned early in life, and but does that make me less? Or no, not really. I don't think. I hope not. It is it's an interesting thing, and so we can listen and compare and just learn from different folks, and I really like that. Learning is so cool, and learning from somebody else is the best there is, in my humble opinion. The So we've kind of talked about fears a little bit. Now, what about this courage part? I I kind of think, that I never felt like I was courageous at all. I was, I don't know how much I want to get into my history, but I grew up during the Vietnamese War, and I was like of the age to go, and I became a protester, and I did not go, and so I am not a veteran. Um, and I always kind of looked like that made me less than. Um, so over time, and then when I started this transition, people started talking to me about how courageous I was, and I'm thinking, no, I don't think so. And I I I just couldn't make that correlation about, you know, being wanting being somewhat effeminate and bravery, and so that was really a difficult thing for my head to latch on to, and then it starts dawning me how difficult it was to transition. When you have to face the wrath and scrutiny of your community, and so those of us who've made that step, we're probably as brave as anyone on the face of the planet, and so we can get through most anything, you know. Sure, we're going to have fear, we're going to have anxiety, but the substance of people such as you and me is the fact that we can get through anything. You know, it's our nature, and the truth is right here. If we want to live authentically, and if we're tired of being told and tired of those labels, and it gets to that point where you cannot take it anymore, you have to do this, and it takes a little something. I wrote a piece one time, and one of the sentences in it was something to the effect of, I could not do a transition. There was just, it didn't really have anything to do with courage or bravery or anything. It's just I couldn't go on living the way I was living. And so here we are, years down the road, and this is what you get today. And it was funny this morning. I got some phone calls. Somebody was asking something about food here in our town, and I never identified myself as Regina. Never said anything, and finally at the end of the conversation, the dude goes, "Thank you, sir," and I'm thinking, I'm going, well, how the heck was he supposed to know? I've never talked to the guy on the phone before. I have no idea who it was, and I was just trying to be helpful. And he was looking for a meal tonight after he got done hunting, and so I don't know. I don't know where that was supposed to go, but holy smokes, we've got to keep moving along and doing the things that we need to do for ourselves, for our authentic selves. You know, and if you want to call it courage, do. If you don't, that's fine too. Just do what's right. Take that next right step for yourself. Um, you know, I kind of would just kind of get rid of frickin' labels and quit doing things that people think that we need to do. I think the labels and whatnot are causing just a lot of trouble in our society anymore. And then there's those who are for the labels and those who are against the labels, which brings us to unity. Why, if we got rid of all those labels and just let everybody kind of like in an orderly fashion, I don't mean tear stuff down but live according to what's right in our heart. We don't have to be destructive, be respectful and be kind and bring the world kind of back, and the sides are out here like this, and let's bring them back together. Um, I get a little bit nervous coming up here in like 3 weeks of election day, and oh God, I just don't know. I get a little fearful. Fearful would be a good word for right now, and because in our community there's some big deep divisions, and it is just so hard to figure out what's going to happen. So we all need to be talking about unity and erasing the divide right now. Be nice to everybody. That's the important thing. We've got to live by our principles, but we don't have to do it with anger. And I think that we can manage somehow to go forward and kind of like open our hearts and just love people, And I don't mean that you have to be sappy or anything, but let people know that you care about how they're feeling. Let people know that you want them to be happy. It's hard. It's hard in this world, I got into one of my friends, she wrote me this morning and said something about, she just wanted such and such to go to hell. And I wrote back, well, why don't you send them a bill for rent, because they're renting space in your head. Why don't you just forget about them? Because you're never going to be able to collect on that bill for rent. There's all kinds of people who can't pay their rent right now. And even if he could pay the rent, he's not going to. He's a crook. So why let him take up space in your head? Sometimes just ignoring the obvious is all you can do. Now that person, they mastered the art of, I don't care what you say about me, just spell my name properly. And I've used that to the newspaper people before myself. I don't care what you say, just get my name in the newspaper. Well, here I go talking politics, and I don't want to. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. And so let's take a break. What's going on in the chat room? Oh, mercy. Who's in Ireland? Jessica Dean, you're in Ireland? Call me anything except late for dinner. Hey, yeah. Right on. One thing we don't want to miss is dinner. I've been trying to miss dinners lately. Well, actually, I've been doing the intermittent fasting thing. Oh, mercy. I've actually lost 10 pounds now, but it's taken me several weeks, but it's working, eat sometime around 11 o'clock in the morning, and then again about 8 o'clock at night. And I can have a snack in between there sometime if I want. The main thing is it's 8:35 in Dublin. Wow, cool. Well, this is just right for you to have a nice fun time in the evening, you know, watching Regina on YouTube, or listening, chatting with everybody. Hey, thanks, Jess. 9 hours, 35 minutes. Oh, good. Are you out of here, Jess? Thanks for coming in. It's good to see you. Now you can do this as you travel around from Jackson Hole. There, you can still get me. It'll just be at 1 o'clock there. I think that's Mountain Time, isn't it? So, anyway, safe travels, sweetie. Safe travels. We're into this for a while, you know. We've almost made 40 minutes. What happens if we don't go an hour and a half? What happens if I run out of steam? Hey, I got a really good reading today. It's a little Ram Dass. I love Ram Dass. I've been reading him off and on for 100 years. And so I bought this book a while back and really haven't read very much out of it, but this is just a great reading. And so are we ready for Regina's reading room? So, okay, here it goes. The art of life is to stay wide open and be vulnerable, yet at the same time to sit with the mystery and the awe and with the unbearable pain, to just be with it all. I've been growing into that wonderful catchphrase, be here now, for the last 40 years. Here and now has within it a great richness that is just enough. If somebody asks me, Ram Dass, are you happy? I stop and look inside. Yes, I'm happy. Ram Dass, are you sad? Yes, I'm sad. Answering those questions, I realize that all of those feelings are present. Imagine the richness of a moment in which everything is present. The pain of a broken heart, the joy of a new mother holding her baby, the exquisiteness of a rose in bloom, the grief of losing a loved one. This moment has all of that. It is just living truth. The saving grace is being able to witness suffering from the perspective of the soul. Another way to say it is that the saving grace is having faith. Living in the fullness of the moment with joy and suffering, witnessing it in all of its perfection, our hearts still go out to those who are suffering. If we live in the moment, we are not in time. If you think, I'm a retired person, I've retired from my role, you are looking back at your life. It's retrospective. It's life in the rear view mirror. If you're young, you might be thinking, I have my whole life ahead of me. This is what I'll do later. That kind of thinking is called time binding. It causes us to focus on the past or the future and to worry about what comes next. Getting caught up in memories of the past or worrying about the future is a form of self-imposed suffering. Either retirement or youth can be seen as moving on, a time for something different, something new. Start fresh. It's a new moment. Aging is not a culmination. Youth isn't preparation for later. This isn't the end of the line or the beginning. Now isn't a time, so look back or plan ahead. It's time to just be present. The present is timeless. Being in the moment, just being here with what is ageless, eternal. It is extraordinary how near we are to our deeper being. It's just a thought away, and the thoughts that take us away from it create so much suffering. The thought, I am this body, causes suffering. I might think, well, my body used to be able to do this. My hair didn't used to be gray. I used to be stronger. I used to be thinner. I used to be... Those thoughts cause suffering because the body is what it is. We do everything we can to stay safe and healthy, but illness, age, and accidents still affect us. Maharaji said, no one has the power even to keep their own body safe. The Buddha is right. The body is in time, but we are just here in this moment. So that's Regina's reading room today. I hope that you got something out of that, because I did. God, when I read that aloud earlier, I just teared up. I welled up. Oh my stars! I thought, man, I'm not even going to be able to read that today. But we got through it, and I think that's really kind of fitting, because we are here right now, and you know, we're always right where we're supposed to be. You know, who knew that you would be there where you're at today, right now? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it just divine to just be here? You know, I have started using that, you know, and talking about anxiety earlier. You know, this is my new thing, is to just think about being here right now. You know, and how does whatever it is that I'm anxious about, how does that affect right now? Most of the time it doesn't, you know. And if it's affecting you right now, then you haven't got time to be thinking about it, you know, because you're in the moment. I am so grateful that I reconnected with Ram Dass after all these years. You know, I listened to him quite a bit and I've actually started buying books and doing them audio, and because I can be busy dilating or something, and be able to sit there and listen to that, and have it be a more spiritual moment rather than just laying there. And you know, that's really a blessing too. So thank you guys for liking that reading. I hope that I can do it. You know, I was looking at something else earlier, and then I thought, well, shoot, I've already done 17 or 18 weeks of these readings. And what happens if we start repeating, you know? And so then I thought, well, I haven't looked in that book very much. You know, we could probably just read one of these books, and a little bit each week, a paragraph or two, and bingo, and it'd be good. I don't think we're going to do that, but I don't know. I don't know. So, hey, we've got 8 people viewing, and we've only got 5 likes. What's going on here? I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. I'm not ready to go, but because it's really important to me, because I have qualms about being able to do this, and there's Diana. Oh my gosh, how sweet is that? Wow. That kind of like chokes me up a little bit. Thank you, Diana. And thank the baby. What's the baby's name? Anyway, we've only got 5 likes, and so please like the video. If you all can kind of help me, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Be nice though, kindness is everything to this old woman. And oh mercy. I saw my dog moving back there. Do you guys know Tank? He's really kind of a nice dog till he's not. He's a lot of company. When my partner died 3 years ago, that dog was everything to me, and so he was with me through the thick and thin of all that grieving and whatnot. Oh my gosh, because I always had to take him out for walks. We had to get out there, and then he would just be so gentle with me when I was just sitting, staring out the window, and and we still do that. He can kind of sense when I'm up, and he he takes a different attitude when I start staring out the window, because he'll come over and put his head in my lap. He's a big dog, so he can't climb up in my lap. When I first got him, he would. He was, oh my gosh, he was 3 years old when I rescued him. And so now he's about 8. Yeah, I think I've had him 5 years now. And he's just been the best friend for me. So anyway, yeah, we don't want to talk too much about Tank. So yeah, he is a cute dog. But he weighs 80, 90 pounds. And so we get out on a trail and we start running into other dogs. It can be really a pain, really a pain. So, gosh, right after I had some surgery, I decided it was time to try climbing a mountain. It'd been 3 months. And so I got this guy to go with me, and we were going to try making it out to the fire tower on Oregon Butte, which is, just up the road a piece. It takes about 2 hours to get there from here of backcountry roads and whatnot. And I'd always heard that the hike was pretty easy, and oh my gosh, I've got Tank on running loose and in the wilderness. And so the first thing that happens is like we start up this hill, and like the hill just goes on forever. It's about a mile long. It's up a mountain, and it's pretty decent trail, not very wide, but a lot of horses have used it. And so it's like entrenched. And so like when we saw dogs coming and I had to leash my dog up, there's no room for both of us on the trail because it's like steep little, footpath. And oh God. And so he starts banging into my bad knee. And oh mercy. And we just kept going and going. And then we finally got to a top of the ridge, and we go out there. Splendor, but we're not to where there's no fire tower. It's about a 2.5 mile walk, and I am completely gassed, and we're at this level spot, and the trail is headed downhill. Well, if you're not at the end of where you're going and the trail goes downhill and you're going to some overlook, trust me, it's going to come up again. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was too soon after the surgery. I never have been there, and oh gosh, my hiking has really gotten down. Of course, I've aged some over time. I'm just not as strong as I once was. When I was how do you say, madly 50, I could go forever, and now an effeminate 70 it just doesn't work quite the same. So I did make a 7-mile hike here a month or so ago, but it was pretty flat, and but that was the longest one I've done since that surgery a year and a half ago, and I had an invitation to go hiking again at 3 today, so more will be revealed whether we actually go or not. I truly love to get out, and do these hikes. I spent a lot of time in the backcountry back in the day when I was trying to be everything that I could be to prove to myself that I was in the right body. And so I did a lot of wilderness time, and sleeping on the ground for 60 days a year for work, and hiking 5 miles in, 5 miles out, and work all day long. And you didn't even think about it. You start off the summer in pretty good shape, and then by the end of the summer you've lost 20 pounds, and oh my God, I was kind of glad that I think that job ran out when I was about 54 or something like that. I think 52. And so, well, yeah, it was crazy. It was a great job. And I mean, I was a fish biologist, and that particular job was in the central Idaho area on the Clearwater River tributaries, and it was interesting. I think spending all that time by myself has really kind of created, the Regina that you guys know, because I just got so tired of what goes on up here. I've really kind of gotten to be where I need people and I like people, and I can still spend time by myself, but it's not everything anymore. I think isolation got to be not a good thing for me. And so I like my time at night when I get home. I lock the doors and I'm not going out anymore and I can just do whatever. But I also like my time of going out and being around people. And because of the COVID, this was our substitute, right? For being out. That was how Marty and I got acquainted, and because we're both locked in our houses, and we start talking and decide to do a show together, and so the rest is history. Um, So anyway, um, I I tell you what, I have lived a great, great life, and there's so much more to do and enjoy. I don't care how old I am. It's still always going to be tomorrow, or right now. Here we are. I'm talking to people all over the world and enjoying it, loving life. And that's what I hope I can bring to the table is just the sheer joy of living, the sheer joy of living, you know, uh, because my stars, I didn't transition to stay home. You know, I, I, I don't get it. I am who I am, and I'm going to share that with you and everybody else. And oh, mercy. Yes, Casey, living and loving life. Every day I wake up and I'm grateful for my life, for the things that I have, for the things that I've done, for the people I've known. And I've had to live every day of my life to get to where I'm at today. And so, I was such a late transitioner. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't like anything to do with my dead name, but that fellow carried me for a good number of years, and if I was to ignore those years, then I don't have a life at all. And I know some folks transition a lot earlier in life, and it's easier to cast that off. But I don't know. I don't like to be dead named, and but also, the fact that poor old Ray put up with a lot from me. People used to ask me in the coffee shop, "Well, where's Ray?" And I'm going, "He's gone." It would be so funny, and they would say, "Well, who are you?" And I say, "I'm Regina." I'm not. You know, there's no correlation between the two people, and sometimes they just go, "Oh, okay, not a problem." I always appreciated that. Always appreciated that. I almost put a picture up last year. I had to do a fair booth, and I was going to put a picture of the founder of Ray's Roast Coffee in because it was kind of a retrospective kind of deal, and so I asked somebody, and this lady, I says, "What do you think about this, Connie?" And she looked at that picture for a while, and she says, "I wouldn't do it. I just see a handsome man there." And and I was like shocked, and I didn't put it up. I didn't put it up. Other people I showed the picture to, and they say, "Oh yeah, do it," and but I didn't. She changed, made me realize how uncomfortable she really was with who with what had happened, and I don't mean to make anybody uncomfortable, but I also mean to live my life the way I see it. Oh, nice, Casey. I like that. I need to figure out how to put these up, highlight them, but Sarah, what I have done is just said that was my brother, you know, because of the family resemblance, But you look at those pictures, and there isn't that much. Actually, that picture is right here. So here's something I thought I would never do, but I'm going to show you. Oops. That's my last picture. As So that's about 6 years ago. What do you think? Oh, we got to get the glare off of it. Oh, mercy. Okay, the one-time deal. From the no time ever to the one time. See how things change? Something to be afraid of, you know. Well, we made it an hour. Oh, thank you, Jessica. That's why I got it, was the colors. And then when I got it, when it got here, I'd be on, oh my stars, that is bright. But it must work. Thank you, thank you. Here, I'll show you a little more. So, yeah. Oh, I think my dog wants outside. He's trying to get through the curtain, but the door's closed. The slider's closed. Now here he comes again. Oh my, what happened there? Get my counter. Somehow I bumped my camera, and then you can see how the counter is all screwed up. So anyway, it must be about that time. We made it an hour, and I think that's enough for today. I'm kind of like worn out, and I'll start repeating myself. I showed the picture, and that caused people to leave. No, I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with that. And part of the whole thing about my doing this is getting out of my comfort zone, and it's the reason why we fail to do things. Is it takes us out of our comfort zone. Was in one of those meetings here a few years ago, and usually everybody just shares sitting around the room, and the guy that was running the meeting says, we're going to do it from a podium tonight, and oh my God, people just had a fit. But it turned out to be really a spiritual kind of thing, and because it took us out of our comfort zones, and so so anyway, moving forward. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the compliments. Let's do this again next week and keep it going. Maybe we'll get more people visiting with us, and we'll just see what happens. And I'll actually work on figuring out how to be more technologically adept, and the more comfortable we'll get doing this. I mean, we've always got to start some way. What is it that Lao Tzu says is the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step? And so thank you guys for coming. Remember our deep breathing, and in those times of stress, if anybody wants me to talk about anything in particular, shoot me a message on Facebook, or that would probably be the best place. Friend me on Facebook and shoot me a message, and that's probably the best way of getting a hold of me, or through my website at raisrose.com. You can do that too. What a wonderful afternoon. Love you guys very much. You have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next week. All things considered. So, bye-bye. And thank you again. Take care.